Hey all, this is Neil Bhatt from EDventure IELTS Institute. I'm here with one of the listening tests from Cambridge IELTS booklet number 12. This is test 1 from that booklet, and this is my first video in the series of listening tests. I'm here with an audio clip and a question sheet in front of you, right? And I'm going to solve this examination, so you can understand that how to correlate each and every questions with the audio clip. Now, before starting the examination, before starting this session, I need to tell you one thing, that three things are very important for any listening test. First, the concentration. Second, the focus. Third, vocabs and the way they pronounce. Okay, so you have to very much of focused towards the audio. Don't lose your concentration for a fraction of second even, right? And very importantly, you have to keep your ears much aware for vocabs and pronunciation that they will use in the listening test, right? So I'm hoping that you will going to understand that how to solve the test properly, right? And I hoping that you will subscribe my channel if you have not subscribed that, and try to share it for other students. That will help them to improve their IELTS even. Okay, so let's start with today's session. So you can see the first 10 questions. This is section number 1, right? And you will be given compulsory half minute to check the questions, right? First section will be in two parts, right? There will be a question set of questions from 1 to 4 and then the remaining questions, or first 6 questions and then 4 questions, or 5 to 5 questions each. Okay, now see, whenever there is a question based on fill in the blanks, you have to check the keywords mainly before and just after the fill in the blanks, after the blanks, right? Likewise here we have to consider that the cookery class, the example of the cookery class is given to us, that the food studio, right? Now what main parts on which they will focus, that how to dash and cook. So and cook and how to dash, that means there must be some way of process that we need to write down. Then after, other information, so small classes also offers, right? This is one of the keyword. Clients who return get a dash discount. Guys, guess dash discount, so this must be a numerical value. Here must be some numerical part we need to write down, because according to that note we have to write down answer in one word and or a number. See, first of all I need to specify this point, that what is the meaning of one word and or a number. Likewise your answer is, let's say, wood. So wood is one word. Let's say your answer is 12. So 12 is a number. So you can replace this 12 by writing in terms of word. Okay, like this. Okay, so 12 can be written in terms of word as well as number. But sometimes the questions would be like this, that 12 plates. So this can also be the possible answer, which includes number as well as words. Okay, so one word and oblique or a number means either only word or only number, or the combination of both word as well as number. Okay, so let's continue with the next fill in the blanks, that Bond's Cookery School. So whenever they will start talking about Bond's Cookery School, your next fill in the blanks would have some answers. Food that is, so food, something related to the keyword, not exact keywords we can get here. Includes recipe to strengthen, guys, to strengthen, right? To improve, to develop, because rather than using the direct words, there might be some chances to have synonyms, or okay, or paraphrasing. So strengthen you have you can tick as your keyword. Now meaning of strengthen is, or the paraphrasing or different synonyms they can use as strengthen, maybe improve or develop, as I said earlier. Then after, they have a free dash every Thursday. Okay, then after the dash center, mainly dash. See, the important word is mainly, because there might some chances that they might offer some different sort of foods, but among them the main food will be our answer. So that is why I ticked mainly as my keyword. Located near, so situated or placed, right, or arranged somewhere. So sit located near the dash. Okay, so near. A special course in skills with a dash is sometimes available. So special course in skills with a dash sometimes available. Right, everyone? So now by using such way, let us start to solve this first section. Okay?
Now we shall begin. You should answer the questions as you listen, because you will not hear the recording a second time. Listen carefully and answer questions 1 to 6.
Hello, Tourist Information Centre. Mike speaking. How can I help you?
Oh, hi. I wanted to find out about cookery classes. I believe there are some one-day classes for tourists.
Well, they're open to everyone, but tourists are always welcome. Okay, let me give you some details of what's available. There are several classes. One very popular one is at the food studio.
Okay.
They focus on seasonal products, and as well as teaching you how to cook them, they also show you how to choose them.
Right, that sounds good. How big are the classes?
I'm not sure exactly, but they'll be quite small.
And could I get a private lesson there?
I think so. Let me check. Yes, they do offer those. Though, in fact, most of the people who attend the classes find it's a nice way of getting to know one another.
I suppose it must be, yes.
And this company has a special deal for clients where they offer a discount of 20% if you return for a further class.
Okay, but you said there were several classes.
That's right. Another one you might be interested in is Bond's Cookery School. They're quite new. They just opened 6 months ago, but I've heard good things about them. They concentrate on teaching you to prepare healthy food, and they have quite a lot of specialist staff.
So, is that food for people on a diet and things like that? I don't know if I'd be interested in that.
Well, I don't think they particularly focus on low-calorie diets or weight loss. It's more to do with recipes that look at specific needs, like including ingredients that will help build up your bones and make them stronger, that sort of thing.
I see. Well, I might be interested. I'm not sure. Do they have a website I could check?
Yes, just key in the name of the school. It'll come up. And if you want to know more about them, every Thursday evening they have a lecture at the school. It's free, and you don't need to book or anything. Just turn up at 7:30. And that might give you an idea of whether you want to go to an actual class.
Before you hear the rest of the conversation, you have some time to look at questions 7 to 10.
So hope you all understand how I did 1 to 6 questions, right? Meanwhile listening the audio, I tried to mark the words which we have already did. So for better understanding, that if I want to write down the answer in the fourth blank, then before that they have started or they talked about the Bond's Cookery School. Okay, so that is how you can write down the further answers also. Okay, as we have already ticked the remaining answers, let us start directly the further audio for the answers, right? So let's start with that also.
7 to 10.
Okay, there's one more place you might be interested in. That's got a rather strange name. It's called the Aretsa Centre. That's spelled A-R-R-E-T-S-A.
Okay.
They've got a very good reputation. They do a bit of meat and fish cookery, but they mostly specialise in vegetarian dishes.
Right. That's certainly an area I'd like to learn more about. I've got lots of friends who don't eat meat. In fact, I think I might have seen that school today. Is it just by the market?
That's right. so they don't have any problem getting their ingredients. They're right next door. And they also offer a special 2-hour course in how to use a knife. They cover all the different skills, buying them, sharpening, chopping techniques. It gets booked up quickly though, so you'd need to check it was available.
Right, well, thank you very much. I'll go and check that out.
So hope you all understand that they have used mainly in some other way of words, in other word, right? So they have used a synonym for mainly. Secondly, located by, just by market. They have used such kind of word. So it means it directs us to near, right? Same way, a special course for 2 hours, right? A special course of 2 hours to how to handle, right? So how to handle knife, that is one of the way I can say statement they have used. Getting everyone? So hope you have understood the whole scenario how to solve first section. Now let's move on for the second section, right? Now in second section we have given the MCQs. Now to solve MCQs there are again some particular methods. Okay, first of all, whenever you get a time, right, in during the examination, so first of all just mark the verbs in your MCQs, mainly in the question mark the verbs which affects the answers. Okay, likewise, see why are changes. So here one of the verb I get changes needed to traffic system, needed to traffic system in Grandford. Okay, so here are the options that number of traffic accidents has been risen. So risen, increased and changed. So all three verbs are somehow interrelated. So what risen? Number of traffic accidents. So accidents has been risen. Then amount of traffic on the road. So traffic on the road has increased, right? Traffic on the road. And types of vehicles on the road have changed. Okay, same way for number 12, in a survey. So survey is the important keyword. Local residents particularly complained about. The main keyword is particularly, because as always there might some chances to get answers in many ways, like according to particular, if I talk about this question, right? So complaint, so there should be lot of complaints, but the answer which we will get will mainly based on particular. So some specific complaint we have to discuss about. Okay, that is why I noted particularly, guys, right? Dangerous driving by parents, pollution from trucks, so pollution, inconvenience of parked car, so parking condition, and dangerous driving by parents, so driving issue, right? Then according to the speaker, one problem with the new regulation, so problem with new regulation will be dash. Rising money to pay for them, finding a way to make people follow them, so rising money, getting the support of the police, right? Getting the support of police, so support police, finding a way to make people follow them, so a way, follow. Okay, so let's try to hear an audio. Okay, and then let us try to find out the correct answers. But as I said earlier, always be focused with the keywords. Okay,
Now turn to section 2. Section 2. You will hear the chairman of the Highways Committee of Granford speaking to members of the public about proposed changes to traffic and parking in the area. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 13. Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 13.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Phil Sutton, and I'm chairman of the Highways Committee. We've called this meeting to inform members of the public about the new regulations for traffic and park.
sorry for the interruption. One thing I forgot to tell all of you, that while solving the MCQ, not necessary always to keep focusing on what the correct answer will be. Right? You may get some sort of questions where answers would be related with the negative way. Right? So rather than always focusing on the correct answer, you should focus on the answers which you can eliminate. Like, let me give you one simple example from the given question. Even the question is, why are changes needed to traffic system in the Grandford? So whatever speaker will speak, right, he or she might speak something that number of traffic accidents were risen, but that is not the bigger issue, right? So you might get the similar kind of statement from the option in the audio, but after that statement, what is the connective that he or she will use, that is more important, because our answer is why change is needed. So there are some basic or major reasons. Okay, but if they are using the word that the number of traffic accidents were risen, but that is not big issue, that was not big issue like that, so you can eliminate that A is not the correct answer. So that is what we consider as the method of elimination. Okay, so this point I forget to tell all of you before starting the MCQs. Okay, so sorry for that interruption. Let's continue with it.
Parking, we're proposing
I'm just
Chairman of the Highways Committee.
To 13.
Good evening, everyone. My name's Phil Sutton, and I'm Chairman of the Highways Committee. We've called this meeting to inform members of the public about the new regulations for traffic and parking we're proposing for Granford. I'll start by summarising these changes before we open the meeting to questions. So, why do we need to make these changes to traffic systems in Granford? Well, we're very aware that traffic is becoming an increasing problem. It's been especially noticeable with the increase in heavy traffic while they've been building the new hospital. But it's the overall rise in the volume of traffic of all kinds that's concerning us. To date, there's not been any increase in traffic accidents, but that's not something we want to see happen, obviously. We recently carried out a survey of local residents, and their responses were interesting. People were very concerned about the lack of visibility on some roads due to cars parked along the sides of the roads. We'd expected complaints about the congestion near the school when parents are dropping off their children or picking them up. But this wasn't top of the list, and nor were noise and fumes from trucks and lorries, though they were mentioned by some people. We think these new traffic regulations would make a lot of difference, but we still have a long way to go. We've managed to keep our proposals within budget, just so they can be covered by the council. But of course it's no good introducing new regulations if we don't have a way of making sure that everyone obeys them. And that's an area we're still working on with the help of representatives from the police force.
Okay. So see, if you just observed, I cancelled out some of the options from the questions, and the only reason behind that was we already have discussed, right? So hope you all understand with it. And this in number, particularly number 12, guys, the first statement they have already mentioned in the beginning, but I was waiting for the remaining two, right? I was waiting for the remaining two. They have already discussed for last option in the beginning. After that, they were spoken about, they had spoke about these two options, but at the end, if you observe, they spoke that these two were not on the top of the list. Okay, and as I told you, that particularly is our important word. So that means what? That A and B are not the particular matter. They are not in their, I can say, list of changes or list of complaints, right? So that is why I ticked option number C. Clear, guys? So this is a very important way of writing the answers of mainly MCQs, that by keeping some patience in completion of whole options. Okay, so hopefully you understand this. Now let's move on with the second part of this section 2. Now in the second part you will see a map, right? A proposed traffic changes in Grandford. Now see, map type questions is many time creates some problems with student, right? How and why? Because they might not focus on the important part. So whenever the question is based on maps, you have to focus on the direction. First thing, the direction, and second thing, from the beginning, the starting point is very important. Starting point. Okay, because everything will be depending on the starting point. If you miss out the starting point, then the connectivity will not be covered by you. Okay, now just check what different sort of words or vocabs they might have used. So the options could be, see, you can just check this E. So E is the place of intersection of high street road and school road. So they might have used the word that something will be on the intersection of high street road and school road. Okay, then this A is also considered to be the intersection point. Okay, so this one of the important word is intersection. Then second, on the north of the school road, at the end, if you find such kind of vocabs, then you can understand that answer would be F. Okay, so besides, behind, follow, right? North, east, south of something, in terms of like, just say, take an example of bank. So something is on the east of bank. So east of bank means what? Compulsory east side of bank is C. Okay, so I'll be hoping that you understand all these different sort of conditions, and as I said earlier, very you have to keep focus on each and every sort of words and vocabs. Okay, so let's start with that also. One thing, I will try to mark each and every I can say the statement on a map. I will try to mark if it is possible for me, right? So it will help you to understand it better. Okay, so let's start with that. One thing, in terms of keywords, see, just check each and every questions, right, are like keywords. Okay, so there is nothing to tick out in this, but the point is, see, you can see the words new traffic lights, new no parking sign, new disabled parking space. Okay, so you have to keep these words in your mind, because new traffic lines suggests that there must be already constructed or situated traffic lights. Okay, so keep that point in your mind, because there might some chances of using a vocab or a statement construction like the old traffic signal lights are at at the intersection of I can say Station Road and High Street, but new traffic lights we try to put at the intersection of School Road and High Street, something like that. Okay, so your main point is new traffic lights. Okay, that is why I ticked new words. Otherwise rest, pedestrian crossing, parking allowed, right? Then widened payment and lorry loading unloading restrictions, something related to that. Okay, so there is nothing like keywords except the words new. Okay, so let's start listening that.
Now listen and answer questions 14 to 20.
Okay, so this slide shows a map of the central area of Granford with the High Street in the middle and School Road on the right. Now, we already have a set of traffic lights in the High Street at the junction with Station Road, but we're planning to have another set at the other end at the School Road junction to regulate the flow of traffic along the High Street. We've decided we definitely need a pedestrian crossing. We considered putting this on School Road, just outside the school, but in the end we decided that could lead to a lot of traffic congestion. So we decided to locate it on the high street, crossing the road in front of the supermarket. That's a very busy area, so it should help things there. We are proposing some changes to parking. At present, parking isn't allowed on the high street outside the library, but we are going to change that and allow parking there, but not at the other end of the high street near School Road. There'll be a new no parking sign on School Road just by the entrance to the school, forbidding parking for 25 metres. This should improve visibility for drivers and pedestrians, especially on the bend just to the north of the school. As far as disabled drivers are concerned, at present they have parking outside the supermarket, but lorries also use those spaces, so we've got 2 new disabled parking spaces on the side road up towards the bank. It's not ideal, but probably better than the present arrangement. We also plan to widen the pavement on School Road. We think we can manage to get an extra half metre on the bend just before you get to the school, on the same side of the road. Finally, we've introduced new restrictions on loading and unloading for the supermarket, so lorries will only be allowed to stop there before 8 a.m. That's the supermarket on School Road. We kept to the existing arrangements with the High Street supermarket. Okay, so that's about it. Now, would it...
So guys, as I said earlier, if you just observe, they have used the same situation for like traffic lights. The old traffic lights were situated at A, but they have changed the new traffic lights and at the intersection of School Road and High Street, that is at E. That is why the answer is E. Okay. Same way, the pedestrian crossing was firstly introduced at G, right? They planning to put at G. Okay, but due to some traffic issues they tried to put them at D, so that is why the answer is D. Okay, another sort of thing which make student confusing is about B, that is parking allowed, right? So previously the parking was at D. They planned to put parking at D, but then they decided, firstly they were not allowed to put parking at B. But as after the second statement they have used, after the first statement they have used a word that we make sure about that only. That means they get the confirmation, they got the permission to put the parking at B only. So that is why the answer is B. Okay, then no parking side must be at G, because they have said that opposite to the school. Okay, so that is why the answer is G. Then new disabled parking space, that is at C, that across the High Street Road opposite to the bank. Such way of statement they have used, opposite to the bank, right, across the High Street Road, like that. Then see, if you observed this new disabled parking, during this statement they have used already a word that on the right side of supermarket it is already available for the lorry parking. So by using that statement I ticked directly that I, and if you just observe I noted lorry at I. Okay, so hope you understand this and try to, it looks quite complex, because I said earlier I try to make some notes, or I try to, I can say, guide you by just putting some arrows according to their audio, according to their I can say speech. Okay, so let's keep this 2 sessions in this particular video. For the next 2 sessions I will be ready with new video for the next time. Okay, so try to listen this video, try to see this video as much as possible for the understanding, and mainly this sort of questions when it is about the maps. Okay, so hope you can understand it. So thank you from my side.